We are dying by the hour. SOS. This is the cry of artisanal miners trapped in an illegal operation, some as deep as 2 kilometers underground in Stilfontein in the northwest. Efforts are now underway to rescue an estimated 500 Zamazamas amidst rumors of death, sickness, starvation, and even cannibalism. As many as 100 bodies are said to be awaiting retrieval, and of course it comes after the Pretoria High Court ordered the Minerals Council and government to split the cost of 12 million rand 50-50 to rescue the trapped miners, following recent discoveries from notes scribbled on pieces of paper from some of them saying they are dying like flies in horrible conditions. Well, the company that's at the center of the rescue efforts is Mines Rescue Services, and CEO Mannas Fourie joins us now. Thank you so much for your time and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to the listeners.
For lay people like myself, this sounds like an awful scenario. As I've mentioned in my introduction, rumors of death, sickness, starvation, and even cannibalism. Can you give us a picture of what these miners are dealing with so deep underground?
I don't think they're sitting in the best conditions at this stage in time, but I can assure everybody that as a company, Mines Rescue Services, we are putting all efforts in and putting as many people during the day or the operational hours that we do have. And we made some great advance on the amount of people that we have pulled out since we started on site on Saturday. So it's been going well getting the guys out, and we're all on track.
Give us a picture of what an operation like this what it takes. Essentially, as I understand it, you're sending a lift down underground. I mean, you can't quite force people to get into it to come up to surface, can you?
No, not really, but I must say that the guys are very supportive. I've got 2 of the local community members that's also assisting us, and we're sending the cage down from surface. We're going down to 1,280 meters, whereby we move at a speed of 1.5 meters per second. It takes us around about 41 to 45 minutes on a round trip, and even the illegal miners that's at the bottom, they're quite keen to get into the cage. So we're loading as many people as we can at one time, and we bring them out to surface.
We've seen, of course, at least from one human rights group, miners' rights group, footage that shows that there are still many men and many bodies trapped underground.
I can't really confirm on the number. There's contradicting statements by all the people that have came out. But we will stay here until we've taken out all the people that are willing to climb into the cage. And I must say that there are no resistance. The guys are coming out.
What's your estimate of the number of people still trapped underground?
I think from what I could have gathered yesterday that we're looking at more or less around about 250. But like I say, to put a definite number to it, it's quite difficult to say.
And what is the condition of those rescued? I mean, some of the pictures I have seen, you can clearly see that some of these guys are completely emaciated. They haven't eaten, I would assume, a decent meal in many a week.
Yeah, look, I don't think they've been sitting in the best conditions. So you can see that some of the guys have taken strain, but they're quite keen. And when they come out, they're happy to come out from underground.
And of course, as soon as they do so, they're arrested.
I can't comment on that one. I just hand them over to the SAPS. So we mainly work around the shaft area, and once the guys come out, we pass them on to the SAPS. The process thereafter, I'm not 100% sure about.
There's been this understanding that, because of the possible arrest once they're brought to surface, many of these miners are reluctant to come out. That's not what you're describing.
No, not at this. We haven't experienced any of that. And what we can see on the footage and cameras of what we're using inside this conveyance, if the conveyance gets to the elevation where they need to be loaded, they line up, and it's quite well organized amongst themselves to get into the cage to come out.
What about allegations that, some of these people are being kept underground against their will? We've heard of armed gangs. We've heard of some of the illegal miners down there forcibly making people work to dig and preventing them from coming out. Have you seen any evidence of that?
Yeah, I've also heard of same statements that's being made and that has been out there. But like I say to even my guys around here, it's difficult to make a statement like that if you can't back it up. So we haven't seen any footage or evidence that something like that prevails. So from the experience we had since we've been here, is that the guys want to come out. They're willing to come out. They're waiting for us just to stop with the cage so we can bring them out to surface.
Just give us a background about your company, Mines Rescue Services. Typically, I would imagine you work with legitimate operations. How do you bring your experience to bear on a mission like this?
So yes, we've been around for 100 years. We are a company that has been established by the mining industry for the mining industry. And we are a PTY limited company. We train volunteers from the mining industry as legislated by the Mine Health and Safety Act, so that whenever there's any need for emergency services on the mining industry side, that we can respond. So I must say the team that's currently on site, we've got volunteers from various mines that's here. We've got OEMs that's working on the machines. The guys are all here. They're giving their full commitment, and there's 100% support and eagerness to get these guys out.
There have been also suggestions that some of these trapped miners have had to resort to eating things like toothpaste, cockroaches, even human flesh. Have any of them been able to tell you their stories in terms of the difficulties they've faced down there?
Yes, Bongani, unfortunately, we don't interview any of these illegal miners that's coming out, and we just passed the persons over to the relevant authorities when they come out. So it's difficult for me to give acknowledgement to any of that.
How dangerous is this work for your guys, for your team?
Extremely dangerous. I mean, we're sitting with a huge machine which is to be parked right against the side of an open hole that goes down approximately 2.6 kilometers. So if you have to make a mistake and you go down that hole, you will lose your life. So the guys are really, the volunteers are here, they're putting themselves at risk for the purpose of what we're doing. But as a company and as mines rescuers, known as Proton members, these guys have got respect and dignity for life, and they would do whatever they can, whether it's illegal miners or whether it's civilians or whether it's anybody that is in dire strait of need. We will make sure that we can rescue to what they require.
And community members and family members who are anxious about their loved ones, can they get information from you, or where do they go?
I do understand that there was some community members outside, but like I say, we do not interact with the community. We're on site inside, and we don't really see what's happening on the outside. We are mostly focused just on the rescue and recovery.
All right, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is, of course, the CEO of the company at the center of rescue efforts, Mine Rescue Services, Mannas Fourie. And essentially what he's saying is that from all the efforts that have been underway, led by his team, the miners trapped underground do want to come out. It's dangerous to do so because, as you can imagine, a cage going very slowly 2.6 kilometers underground in complete darkness, not knowing what's going to emerge out of those, out of that cage. I mean, if you see some of the images on television and the footage, some of these guys are completely starved. They look emaciated. They look weak. And of course, as soon as they surface, many of them then placed under arrest, and they face all sorts of charges. Many of them, of course, are undocumented foreign nationals. The government saying that this is an operation that is necessary to combat illegal mining. Was it the Mineral Resources Minister, Gwede Mandashi, yesterday, who says this activity is a war on the economy.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.